Okay, so in the first session, we discussed, the 5 letters of Arabic, which were these letters, right? Which were these letters: Alif, Ba, Ta, Tha, and Hamza letter. And also we discussed certain things that are like, that are like the basics, that how do we write Arabic, that is from right to left, and that Arabic alphabets, they have like dots on them as well, and the dots are up to 3 in number, or some of them don't have dots as well. Sometimes the dot is above the letter, sometimes it is below the letter, and sometimes it is, in the middle as well. So this was what we discussed. And also we discussed, about these sounds that are similar to English alphabets as well. Why I am, giving a reference to English is that, you might be familiar with those sounds already, and that is why you are taking these sessions of English, right? So that is why I make a reference to the English sounds as well. So to make you aware that you already are familiar with the certain sounds of letters. So as for the case of, this Aleph and this Hamza sound and this Ba sound, you were already aware of these sounds. For the Tha letter, I said that you are already aware of it somewhat in English as well. When we say the word think, think of it, right? The word think. So that the starting sound of that is somewhat similar to how we say this Tha letter. And then this sound was a bit new, a bit different. So that is why I explained this sound without making a comparison to English. Okay, so this was just a kind of a bit of revision. At the end, if we have time, I can just listen to you guys as well. You can articulate these letters to me, and I can, just get to know how your progress is going with regards to these. Okay, so for today's lesson, again, I have, picked certain letters. And these are again like 5 letters, and the reason I picked those letters, I will inshallah be telling you that as well. So I have just marked the letters that we did yesterday, and I have encircled these letters that we will do today inshallah. So these are the 5 letters. Their names are, this letter is Ha letter, right? Ha. The next letter is Kha. Kha. This letter, the third one, is Ayn. Ayn. This next letter is Ghayn. Ghayn. And the last of these is Ha. Ha. Okay, so these are the letters I have picked. You need not to worry about the sequence. That why I'm not moving in sequence, right? There is a reason for that as well, inshallah. So I have picked these letters, and let me tell you, just like a small reason for this is, one of the reason is that, yesterday we did the letter Hamza, right? We just made a comparison between like Aleph and Hamza as well. So, from these letters of Arabic, from these alphabets, we have named, we have assigned like certain names to the groups of letters from those as well. Like some letters, like 4 to 5 letters, they have a like a name because of the articulation points as well, right? So some letters are called hurufe laswiya or hurufe halki, hurufe shajariya. You need not to worry about the names, okay? So there are like groups of letters, depending on their sounds or their articulation points. We just combine those and term them into like a category or something. So same is the case with 6 letters of throat as well, because these 6 letters, they are articulated from throat. So we just name them as harufe halki, which means like the 6 letters, these are like 6 letters. Haruf means letters and halki means throat. So because these 6 letters you see in front of you, they are all articulated from our throat. So that is why we term them as the letters of throat or harufe halki. So from these 6 letters, yesterday we did this Hamza, right? We did this Hamza letter. So we have like 5 of these remaining. So that is why I have picked these 5 letters for today. so that you get to know these 6 letters, because these are also very important. When you will learn the rules of Tajweed, inshallah, later on you will see that these rules are like these letters are very important as well. So I have picked these 5 letters, and you have already heard these names. I have said these out aloud as well. So, you see that two of them are in the lower portion, the two in the middle portion, two in the upper portion, and this is like our throat or our neck area that is, drawn here. So, the letter Hamza that we did yesterday and this letter Ha that we do today, these two letters, they are articulated from the lower portion of our throat, that is near to our chest. The letter Ha and Ayn, they are articulated from the middle portion of our throat. And letter Kha and Ghain, they are articulated from the upper portion of our throat, that is near to our mouth. So, inshallah, we will see how we articulate these. So again, you see these 5 letters. I have written, their transliteration as well. Like ha, there's like its sound is somewhat like ha. I have written here, right? So also I have mentioned below that this sound you are already familiar with the sound of this alphabet. The sound of this alphabet is just the way we say H in English, right? The ha sound, H sound. So yes, we are already familiar with the first sound. For the next 4 letters, we are not familiar with the sound of these 4 letters when it comes to English. Okay, so this letter Ayn, Ayn, right? So even if I have written the sound of this is actually not the exact sound I've written, because at the start you see an alphabet A, but the sound of this Ayn is not, it does not start with the sound. So that is why I've, marked it like a cross here, that this is not the exact way to write it, but still, I have written it like this because just so that you get a little idea of what the sound is a bit similar to. So right, but so we say Ayn, Ayn. So this first letter is from the lower portion of our throat. That is from the middle portion of our throat, from where we make the sound of Ayn. The next letter, again, this does not have a sound. There isn't any similar sound in English. The letter Ha. The letter Ghain, it does not have a sound, similar in English. And again, the letter Kha. So we will, inshallah, discuss these in detail as well. As for the first alphabet here, Ha, so the sound of it is just like when we say head in English. Head, right? So Ha sound. This Ha sound is, you hear that this is like a heavy sound and a very clear H sound that comes from the lower portion of our throat. That is a very clear sound, and that is a very like a heavy sound as well, because that comes from the lower portion of our throat that is near to our chest, and we say ha, ha. Try saying it as well, right? Ha. Okay, so this letter ha, you will also see like this in this form as well. So you need not to confuse both of these. They are same. They're just same. This ha or this ha, you see, they are the same ha. Ha. Okay, so the next letter is Ain. Ain. So as you know, there was no there wasn't any sound in English, so that is why I have not written any English example for this. The example that you see here is like of Arabic word amala. Amala. At the start of this word, we see an like ayn letter with a fatha symbol. We did the symbols, right? The fatha, dhamma, and kasra. So here we are saying amala. Okay, so for this letter, there are like various ways we can just describe the sound of it. So, you will hear on the YouTube as well, on the lessons as well, from your teachers, certain teachers as well, from where you will, from where you might have read qaida before, that this letter has a like a sound similar to the way like we make a choking sound, or the sound we make when we constrict the muscles of our throat, like the middle portion of our throat. At that point we constrict the muscles of our throat, and we like they get tightened a bit, and we just avoid the flow of air when we say this ayn letter, right? For this Ayn letter, we avoid the flow of air. And how do we do that? We constrict the muscles of our throat from the middle portion. And then we make a sound, we uplift the sound. We say, ah. That is, actually a very natural sound. It is not difficult to make. It is like, you just open your mouth and you push your tongue. Your tongue, you not push, you take the tongue a bit backward in your mouth, right? When you take your tongue a bit backward, and then you constrict the muscles of your throat from the middle portion, and then you make the sound of ah. Also, you need to, remember that this sound is not similar to the sound of Hamza that we did yesterday. That was a very normal sound when we say ah, just simply opening the mouth when you say like ah, right? So that is a very simple sound. For this sound, you will have to just, put some effort, just little effort, okay? Not very difficult, just very little effort. And say ah, amala. For the first word, we said hadi, ha, ha. For this, we said amala, ain. The next letter is letter ha, ha. Okay, so as you can see that, this sound, the sound of this letter, or the sound of this letter, they can be, they can, you can feel that they might be a bit very close, right? But we can differentiate this very easily, inshallah. Why? Because the articulation point of these two letters are different. These two letters, they are not from the same point of articulation, right? So this letter is from the lower portion of our throat. This letter is from the middle portion of our throat. Another difference is that, for this letter, the sound of this letter is like a heavy and clear H sound, and you're already familiar with this sound, right? The clear H sound of ha. For this letter of ha, this does not have this clear sound of H, but rather there is this hollow, airy sound when we say ha. So that is why when I have written, this sound in English, I have put like two H at the start, two H at the start, because the ha, the airy sound at first is very clear, is very prominent when we say ha. So for this letter, from the start we say ha. From the start we make H sound and A. Ha. And for this, we we remove air from our mouth first, and then the sound comes. We say ha. Also, interestingly, you can just remember this sound, from the way, like the I can just give the example that in winters when we just blow the air, like as a child, we used to do this as well, that when we blow the air on like glass mirrors or something, so that the fog, fog is there on the mirror, and we just draw something on that. So the process that we do to make that fog, right, on the mirror, we do this sound at the start. We say ha, ha. So the first point that like the first process we can say or something, the way we make the h sound, that is just the way we used to do that. Ha, right? Ha. So that is how we can make this sound, and then we can attach this sound with it. Ha. Okay, I hope that you are kind of understanding the difference of this ha and ha, ha and ha. I've also, written the difference here as well. Let's see the example when we say Ahmad, Ahmad. Here you see this ha, and in this word of hamd, or when we say Alhamdulillah, right? We say this Alhamdulillah. So in Alhamdulillah, this is the ha we see. This is not this ha, okay? Ha and ha. Okay, so I hope that these three letters are a bit clear to you for now, right? This is from the lower portion of our throat. These two are from the middle portion of our throat. And also, I have not written these letters today. I will do that as well. So these two letters are from the middle portion of our throat. And these two letters, again, do not have any dot on them, right? So the next two letters that we will do today, they are just like, similar looking to these two, but they have like dots on their head. On top of them there is like one dot on both of these, right? So for this letter, ghain letter, the name of this letter is ghain. This letter is written like this in this shape with the dot on it, and this letter comes from the upper portion of our throat that is near to our mouth. And this letter is a very simple letter, because this is like the sound of this letter is like a very natural sound to us. Again, the way we make this gargle sound, this has this ghafir, ghafir, right? Gha sound, this gargle sound, this letter has. And we say ghafir. The example I have written here at the start of this word, we see a letter ghain with a dot on that and a fatha symbol. So we say ghafir, ghafir, right? And for the next letter, this letter is again similar to, like, in its shape, it is like similar looking to this, but this has a dot on top of it, right? And just like the ghain letter, this is from the upper portion of our throat, right? This is articulated from the upper portion of our throat. And how we articulate is, we say kha, kha. This letter has this scratch or this abrasion in this when we say kha. When we say the word kharaja, kharaja, right? So you can hear the scratch, like the scratch is made when we like at the back of our throat when we are articulating this letter. And for this letter, you also have to remember this thing, that this letter sound is not like the ha sound, ha or ha. This letter has this like a heavy sound. If you just listen to it again, I will make the two sounds, and I will then tell you which of the sound is correct. First, I'm making ha, ha. The second one is ha, ha. So the second sound is correct. This letter is not said, by making our mouth empty. This is a heavy letter. And what do I mean by heavy is that our mouth feels a bit full. It feels a bit heavy when we say ha. That is why in this, in the spellings I have written KHAW, ha. I have not written KHAA, right? So we make this o, ha. So you need to remember this when we say kharaja. This is not kha. This is kha. Kharaja. And also, you will, inshallah, get to practice this in the coming sessions as well. So you need not to worry about this for now. Just remember the sound as well for now. You can do that as well. Kha. Okay. So we have done these you did these five letters, and I can just repeat these sounds one more time quickly, and then you can ask me, or I can just listen to you from the previous alphabets that we did. So this is letter ha, this is letter ayn, ayn, this is letter ha, ha, this is letter ghain, ghain. This is letter Qa. Qa. Okay, so I hope that this is a bit clear to you, and I can, change the settings so that you can speak as well, and then you can, then you can read aloud the letters as well that we did yesterday, inshallah. Or you want to ask anything, you can do that as well. Okay, sisters, if you would like to speak, you can unmute yourself or you can raise your hand, whatever is convenient to you. Also, I have, like this written like this here. We did not practice with the Fatha yesterday as well, right? We did the symbols of Fatha, kasra, and dhamma. And I told you that these are the symbols like the slanting line symbol above any letter or below any letter, or this curved line symbol above the letter. So these are like called Fatha, kasra, and dhamma. And the sound of the letter, the articulation of letter depends very much on on these symbols as well in Arabic, right? So the complete sound of the letter comes when we look at these symbols of like short vowel symbols on these letters. And for example, here we make the sound of this hamza as a, e, u. We did this letter of ba, b, bu. This letter ta, ti, tu. Then this letter sa, si, su. Then this letter that we did today ha, he, hu, right from the middle portion of our throat. This letter ho, fi, hu, right with scratch. Ho, fi, hu. Okay, so the next letters. This letter, right? I told you that we can write this ha like this as well, right? Ha, he, hu. One more time. Ha, he, hu. Then this letter ha, he, hu. I guess this is repeated here. Ha, he, hu. Right? You can differentiate, like you can hear the difference in the sound of these two, right? This is ha, he, hu. This is ha, he, hu. Right? A bit hollow sound and a bit airy sound, right? So this is the sound of like Hamza is a, e, u, a, ri, ru. And also, there's a difference between these sounds as well, right? This is a, e, u. This is a, ri, ru. This sound of Hamza is articulated from the lower portion of our throat, and this Ayn comes from the middle portion of our throat. Then these two letters, they are articulated from the upper portion of our throat, and we say kho, khi, hu, and then gho, ri, ru. Okay, I hope that the sounds are a bit clear to you.